To be clear, you were saying that you had multiple requests prior to November and of return Tigrayans, not Ethiopians, but Tigrayans from Saudi Arabia. And you said you can't get involved. Explain why you couldn't get involved.
The terms of our constitution prohibit us from getting involved in deportations.
Okay, so it's not your mandate, it's not your remit, it's nothing to do with you. So you went to Foreign Affairs and said what? You said, you guys take care of this. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Informed them that we're getting a lot of pressure to return Tigrayans from Saudi Arabia, and I explained to them why we could not get involved in the forceful return of Ethiopians or any migrants from any country.
And what was their reaction?
They agreed, and they said, we don't know why they would ask you to do that. But they themselves also say they were getting the same letters. There was a Tigrayan association from every country. Perhaps it's just the Tigrayan association in North Korea that did not write to us. There was letters upon letters, emails every day. You don't care about these people just because they're Tigrayan. You should put yourself in the situation of these people. They're being mistreated in Saudi Arabia. We want them back here in Ethiopia. And we never got involved because we can't. And our natural posture is actually the reverse, to push governments to find local solutions in terms of integration into the local labor market. For us, deportation should be an option of last resort. And we know that the Saudi labor market subsists on immigrant labor. So we couldn't understand why there was this strong push to get Tigrayans out of Saudi Arabia.
But you're convinced that after the November 4th attack, you think that this was a direct, well, not direct, but indirect way to actually recruit soldiers for the actual war?
I have never seen any government, especially a government like this, that is struggling to provide jobs for its people, push for the return of their people.
But couldn't they have said, but couldn't they have said, it's pretty well known or pretty infamous that the Saudis treat immigrant labor appallingly bad. I mean, couldn't a reasonable argument be made that, okay, they just want the people returned because they're being treated appallingly?
I don't think so.
You don't buy that?
Huh?
You don't buy that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because these people will go back to Tigray and struggle to eke out a living.
Okay, so conditions are worse than being an immigrant in Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now, Jeff, this is where it gets interesting. There is a request from some Tigrayan associations, some of them are very active on Twitter, to IOM to resettle Tigrayans that are currently in Saudi Arabia in Rwanda. And
why would they want to go to Rwanda?
I don't know. Rwanda, again, I don't know. Rwanda,
what's in Rwanda that would have been?
Rwanda previously offered to host stranded sub-Saharan African migrants that were stranded in Libya. Rwanda offered to resettle them in Rwanda. And again, IOM said we could not get involved because this is not something we do. If they're refugees, we can get involved in coordination with UNHCR in their resettlement. Rwanda...
Doesn't that undermine your premise, though?
What?
Well, if they're now saying, let's resettle them in Rwanda...
there's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it.
It's politics.
It's politics, but it doesn't fit the narrative of getting people back to be soldiers.
No, they wanted it then. They know it can't happen now. Yeah. The war has already started, and I mean, the federal government is controlling even the flow of people once in Addis a lot better.
So there's got to be a different political reason.
Before November the 4th, they would have landed in Addis and
and gone on up
with ease. Yeah. After November the 4th, things are a lot more difficult in terms of accessing Tigray.
Yeah.
Kagame was tight with the TPLF. That's what it is.
Okay.
And now, so could we start to make a lot of noise about getting all of these Tigrayans who are stranded in the Middle East, can't return to their country because it's conflict-ridden, get a country to resettle them. And then you don't know what guerrilla movement starts from Rwanda. I mean, it's dirty. I said, they wrote to my counterpart in Rwanda, and I said, strange that they would write to you, until I saw the email and I understood, okay, they want these people resettled in Rwanda.
I need to see the emails.
And I'll show you the emails. I said,
no, not just show me. Print them off and forward them to me. I need the proof. No, I need the proof.
But I mean, if I show it to you, you see it.
Yeah, but I still need them forwarded to me so I'll redact the names. I'll redact the officials' names. Sorry, I gotta get my thingies. I broke my glasses on the way. That's always fun.
So, Ms. Force is Chief of Mission Kigali.
I was from the Ethiopian Canadian Parliament. I'm going to discuss the situation. I will redact, if you forward this to me, I will redact their name, and I will redact identifiers that make it clear. Ms. Forrest is where?
Rwanda, Chief of Mission.
Okay, so...
Chief of Mission, Rwanda. And this woman apparently is very active on social media. So...
Good morning, man. Thanks for replying.
Let me show you my response.
Okay, who's the active person? Because the other person was Izana Tefera.
Yeah, that's the person I'm told.
That's a female or a male? I thought it was a male.
A female, I believe.
Greetings, my name is... So I would use this, but I would... Also join the call would be in the Azak CC'd here, an advocate who's been working in the migrant issue for some time. This is dated when? This is dated... 1708, this is 8th, okay, so August...
This is very recent.
This is very recent.
This last week.
This is incredible. They know they're losing.
Yep. Yep. That's my...
Sorry, I told you I'm stupid, it takes me a while. They know they're losing. They're looking for a refuge. Yeah, I want this. I want this. She's Chief of Mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else could they have conceivably written to? I mean, within the mission itself. I'm trying to remember my diplomatic stuff here. In terms of diplomatic thing, you have Chief of Mission. Under you is what?
Deputy.
Deputy. Yeah. So it's conceivable she could have written to the deputy, or written to a third secretary or something in terms of, yes?
No. She just, it was directed only to her, and she sent it to me and the regional office in Nairobi.
No, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to protect your contact. So I'm trying to think of, because I can redact their name and say it was sent to the mission, the Rwanda mission, but leave out the official name, but use the text. I want to be able to quote some of the text, but also protect, because especially seeing as though your contact, we don't want to betray your contact.
Absolutely.
But
what I could do, because I want to stay out of it.
I know you do.
The TPLF are dirty.
You don't have to
vicious. Yeah. And vicious.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't want to be on this call. I told my counterpart in Rwanda that put this person in touch with the head of my migration management division here in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So they're having a conversation tomorrow. He is petrified, but he's a very smart guy. And he knows they will likely record him. So he will be very careful, and he will say just the minimum this we can do, this we can't do by the terms of our mandate. If you're interested in getting Tigrayans resettled from the Middle East to Rwanda, and you consider them refugees, you should be speaking to UNHCR or something like that.
Okay, both of us forgot this is still running. I want to use that. I don't want to use the man's name. I don't want to use his office. But the thing is, it is important to say an official is petrified and scared of talking to these people and thinks that he'll be recorded. I'm telling you now, I'd like to use that because that has to be said.
We're all scared. You're not saying anything people don't.
Okay.
Everybody is scared.
But I'm being very clear because the thing is, you are talking about a UN agency afraid of the cutouts or proxies for a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
I was told not to go to the region anymore.
And by the way,
you shouldn't go to the region anymore.
Jeff,
yeah.
I will never go back to that region. I can't. For my own security.
Things could change.
Unless things change.
Who are you calling?
I just want you to... Malambo.
Hello? Yes, hi Maureen.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Malambo, can you remind me the name of the person you're talking to tomorrow about that Rwanda request from this Tigrayan association?
Okay, so one is Zana. Let me just open up my email just to get the names correct.
And is this the one you said is very active on social media?
No, the one active on social media is Misa.
Michael.
Pardon me?
Misa Gebre Michael, I think was the name, right?
Yeah.
And Malambo, you'll have to be really careful tomorrow on that call, as we discussed.
Yeah. The other person is Ezana Tefera.
Okay, so the person who wrote the initial email to Chief of Mission Rwanda.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I was just talking to somebody and I wondered whether, we had the names right in terms of who you were speaking with. I'm glad you're not speaking to the one who's active on social media.
No, she'll be on the call as well. Fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then Malambo, you need to be super careful.
That was only revealed after I'd already agreed to the call.
Yeah. So you were tricked.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's fine. I know exactly what to avoid talking about.
Yeah.
I know who these people are and what they're about. They're not new to me, so I know how to keep the discussion within nothing controversial.
Yeah. Okay, Malambo. But you know how they operate. Anything you say, however proper, however correct, they will take and twist endlessly. I'm worried that you're meeting with the one who's active on social media because, then we know it's all about creating a lot of noise over something. Actually, one strategy would be to bring Justin in from Nairobi.
I don't know. I don't know if Justin is as... don't get me wrong, he's very smart and has a political sense, but he's not here.
He's not here, yes.
No. And you can't control what people say. Or how they say things. Yeah. Especially when you're not in the same room with somebody.
Yeah. I just don't want it to be you alone. Like, So that if they go out there and misreport, there was someone else on the call who can say, absolutely not, that's not what was said. So if not Justin, who could that person be? You don't have to answer it now, but think about it and we can talk tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's actually a good thing to just keep it at a technical level, because then that allows us to keep the discussion purely technical. So if they bring up anything political or anything that requires cooperation among member states, I just use the UN line, which is, this is not my area of expertise, so I can't comment on that. What I can talk about is the work that we're doing on the ground, and that's it.
Okay, all right. Okay, Malamba.
Yeah.
All right.
And then even they can't go around and accuse us of not engaging or hiding things, because I will talk about all things technical, and that's my job.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Malambo. You have a good one.
Okay. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, two things very important for you guys to know. What you just did was kind of a dirty trick.
No, he's very...
I know. But the thing is, this is how I work. I do not use recordings of people who are not aware that they're being recorded. And the way it works under the law in my country is that you cannot broadcast something unless someone consents to their use.
No,
let me finish. No, I appreciate that. Let me finish. You can record somebody surreptitiously. You just can't use it. So the thing is, because he didn't know that I was recording him, I cannot use him. He will never know he may never know that I listened in on his call. Doesn't matter. That, as far as I'm concerned, whatever he said there is off limits. I don't use it.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't.
Just to give you an idea.
I know. The one thing I don't understand is how he was tricked. I didn't follow that. I'm sorry.
Because the email I showed you comes from one person.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
Zana, what's her face?
Yeah. And then he said, okay, we can meet.
And then Misa comes in.
Yes.
Misa is going to be outed because Misa is very active on social media. She's a well-known TPLF troll. If I were you, I would go back.
The UN is organized in every country to have one leader that speaks for the entire UN system in a country.
Okay.
So the person we're making reference to is this person who is the resident coordinator.
Okay. Yeah. And she knows, and she's a person that could, but she's under a great deal of pressure. Okay.
Fire. They wanted her out.
Fire.
And this comes from...
Still or not?
This comes from... Still. Okay. And this comes from Dr. Tedros, that level.
Yes.
Wanting her out to replace her with somebody who will dance to their tune.
Exactly. And you know what they did? They managed to convince that all the emergency coordinators from the different agencies that came into work in Tigray, they wanted them to not to report to us. So sideline the UN here because we were not singing to the tune of what they wanted.
How could they even say that again? I want to wrap my head around this. Say that again exactly.
You know that because of the scale up of the humanitarian interventions in the north, many of the agencies had to bring in additional support. We call them search, which is additional technical expertise to be posted in that region. And many had to appoint what we call senior emergency coordinator. Well,
all our headquarters have emergency directors.
Yes.
Okay.
So they all descended on Addis against the advice of the resident coordinator
and the head of agencies.
And the heads of agencies and the government of Ethiopia.
Okay, we're not naming names here, so I take it I can still use this now. I can still use this in terms of them trying to sideline the UN and make them report. Yes? No? You guys are trading eyes.
Yeah, I think.
Was it not part of the scale-up protocols?
Yeah.
It was part of the scale-up protocols that says that the emergency coordinators in the regions report directly to the emergency directors rather than to us in headquarters.
Instead of to us. So they want a direct line from Tigray to the headquarters. Addis, the reps in Addis, should be sidelined because we're working with the federal government. Yes. We're more sympathetic.
You gotta let me use that. You gotta let me use that. That's a huge, you want people to understand this, let me use that. Are we agreed?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I'm okay with that.
Tell me.
Because again, it's what they want in headquarters, and it's what Dr. Tedros and others like him have succeeded in getting his fellow Undersecretaries General to agree to, that the UN in Addis is compromised. Let's have senior coordinators in Tigray who report directly to New York and Geneva and Rome.
What this tells me in context is there is a power struggle going on within the UN. This explains why we ran into sources in Mekelle who told us about UN senior officials interfering with national exams and coordinating with the TPLF. So this is part of that puzzle. There's a power struggle going on with the UN in terms of how you guys can do your jobs. Yeah. Is that fair?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, you guys are in big trouble.
Yep.
Wow. Paperwork. Again, can somebody supply paperwork to back this up? There must have been memos. There are always memos in bureaucracy. Somebody had to write this down to say, we should be doing this instead of this. And they would have sent it to multiple people. There's got to be a paper trail.
On the discussion to marginalize representatives in Addis,
no?
I don't think there's paperwork.
How is that
possible? Or if there is paperwork, it hasn't got to our level. It's being discussed
at that level.
Yeah,
Were you part of these discussions?
No.
I mean, that's the whole idea.
They invited us.
So how do you even know that this is true?
Because it's coming from the resident coordinator.
Exactly.
And she is saying, I have never seen anything like this, that emergency directors come from New York and they don't even engage with their representatives on the ground. They go directly to Tigray, come back from Tigray, engage directly with donors, and then, write a report.
All right.
There's been a strident push for senior representatives in Mekelle, and that they should be given sufficient latitude for action. There should not be interference from Addis, meaning us. Mm-hmm. Because if it's coming from us, we're going to be sympathetic with the federal government and we will perhaps steer it in another direction.
What you're talking about, though, amounts to a conspiracy within the UN.
Of course it is.
Yeah, to sideline us.
So the safest place to be right now is on Kwesi's side. If you're a Kwesi and you're bashing the government, you're safe.
You're safe.
If you're Maureen or Denya or these other friends who are not here, we can't talk at meetings anymore. We go to meetings, we keep quiet. Especially now because of the pandemic. We are in this virtual format of meetings.
We don't know who's
listening.
What is this? Why would this guy's not Ethiopian.
No.
So, I mean, what is his interest here? Why even go to bat for him?
If you are, and I believe you are, Jeff, familiar with how the TPLF works.
Yes.
They recruit people. They have their networks within the UN system. Mm-hmm. Whether Kwesi is being paid additional money by the TPLF, I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty emotional where TPLF is concerned.
Is it possible he's just a true believer? Maybe he's just not paid off, but a true believer in their cause. What's your take? What do you think?
But he also has a friend from that region.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is. Huh? So
that's one.
But they said
he's got an Ethiopian girlfriend.
Yeah,
and rumor is that she's from there. But I don't think that's what motivates him.
Yeah, let's not go there.
No,
the thing
exactly.
is, I don't like doing that to people.
Exactly.
God, we need. And all right, second question is, because you just gave me a peach of a quote, but secondhand. You said your superior official said she's never seen anything like this. I would love to run with that, but the thing is also we've got to find a way to protect her.
Yeah.
You got to go talk to your friend. In actual fact, the best way to protect her is to talk about her. I do believe that. If I actually use her name, but talk about her in the third person, that could actually insulate her. Because she could legitimately point and say, I didn't talk to this guy. They're talking about me. They're not talking to me, which would take the
I would recommend that you go to the UN Ethiopia Twitter handle and look at things she has posted and draw from that.
Well, if she's putting out stuff on Twitter, that's not very a wise course of action to do. If she's putting out controversial things on Twitter.
No, she's not putting out controversial things. There's been a few recent statements. There's one on the perception of the UN in Ethiopia having taken a hit, and
What's her Twitter handle? Do you know?
It's UN Ethiopia.
UN Ethiopia, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you please talk to your friend and talk to her about what we're doing, and at the very least give the woman a heads up so she knows this is coming? Or do you want to go that far?
I'm not sure. Are you?
Does she trust you?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, she's under
a lot of strain.
A lot of it.
I'm not sure she would want to be a part of something like this.
Yes, she's under. I mean, there's a tremendous force being orchestrated to figure out how to get her out of here, and
they have failed so far because I met with a senior government representative who said we are not going to watch her get kicked out of here. We know they want her out because she's an African.
I am telling you straight up, the most honest thing, the most best thing you could do for her is A, tell her you're talking to me. B, tell her that the best way I could protect her and actually help you is actually talk about the campaign to oust her and name her. And then watch the fur fly, because then they'll go, holy shit, Pearce knows what's going on. How the hell does he know what's going on? And that will make them back off her for a while. I can't promise it would be indefinite, but I can tell you that she would be safe for a limited period of time, because the shit will hit the fan that once you drag them into the light and say, this is what they're trying to do, that actually, because I told you in our phone conversation, I've been a whistleblower. They put my name in it, and they didn't touch me because they went, well, why would his name be in it if he actually spoke to the sources? That's the best way to protect your friend and your colleague. And frankly, if there's a concerted effort to oust her, I say go public with it. But that's got to be her. That's got to be, I don't want to hurt this person. I don't know this person. You should coordinate with her to say, be a part of this because it could help you. And I mean that sincerely. If you need me to talk to her, I'll talk to her. I'll deal with her the same way. If she wants to talk to me, anything that she says to me can be as an unnamed source, same rules. But it would be good to get her permission to say, can we use your name? Because you're obviously being targeted here.
Okay, two things, Jeff.
Yeah.
One, the push to oust her was tremendous. She has survived it because several key people have said over our dead bodies, including senior people in New York, very, very senior people who have said, stop this nonsense. So it's a certain group of donors.
They're waiting. They're waiting. They'll be back. They'll be back.
So that is one. I think she has survived it.
Okay.
But second, we all have different thresholds for, discomfort.
Of course.
If I was in that situation, I would be looking for Jeff Pearce. I don't know that is her case. Yeah. So my proposal would be her contact information is public. If you go to the UN Ethiopia website, her number is there. Call her or email her and say, I'm hearing A, B, and C about what's happening in Ethiopia. Would you be willing to speak with me off the record or on the record?
She has no reason to trust me, and I wouldn't blame her. Given the way that the other media have treated her, unless she's familiar with what I do.
She is very familiar with you. She follows you.
Okay.
And she shares your tweets with me. I share your tweets with her.
Okay.
She knows you very well.
Because given how... Let me double check the recording on the...